This is Denver, where they haven't sold a car muffler in close to 30 years, where they're achieving racial equality by giving sickle cell anemia to Mexicans, and where accused murderess Lee Bibb Lindsley was acquitted of murder, but her hairdresser was sent to the electric chair, and where the television professionals never make mistakes.
Do they break and splinter like these glass rods, never getting long and beautiful?
Well, today's been a busy news day. Susan Goldwater standing by in the field with an update on the story of the RTD, and we're going to be getting to that. No, we're not going to be getting to that.
This here stinks.
Stinks.
Don't bother me. You want to do something constructive? This here stinks.
Everybody else says it's my fault.
In tomorrow's report, we'll talk about Bundy's jailbreak and the murder charge against him. Guys? In Wednesday's report, we'll talk to a girl Bundy dated, and we'll also present some new evidence in the Chi Omega killings. Guys? Also in tomorrow's report, we'll talk with the dead girl's father, and we'll look at Bundy's situation in this very emotional case. Guys? Highlights in tomorrow's report, Bundy lashing out at the Salt Lake City police, and a talk with the father of a murdered girl. Guys? In Monday's stories, Bundy's lawyer says Bundy was railroaded on his kidnapping conviction, and Bundy himself talks about the trial. Guys?
And when you don't get any playing time, then the time is now, and that is to move on.
That is the news now. Next news on 7 at noon. We'll be looking for you to join us again tomorrow at 5. Till then, there you are.
Say goodnight.
Have a good night.
Channel 7's Larry Green can't make the weather happen.
Thanks, Larry!
But he can sure tell you what it's going to be like.
Thanks, Larry.
And that's why people like him so much.
Thanks, Larry.
Larry Green and the weather, only on Channel 7.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Larry Green weather. Nobody does it better.
Thanks, Larry.
The power outage caused the news to lose some of our film because our processor broke down and the film was delayed in the soup. It also delayed the editing of some of our stories, but here we are, and as they say, the show must go on.
So I'm going to hit the showers.
Get on your way.
You're a clown and a bore.
I'll agree with that.
It was beautiful last weekend.
It was 87 degrees, though. It's perspiring right around the...
Oh, no.
Yeah, can't have that.
It's rough on Bill.
Rough on the image.
For the news, Betsy Dill reporting.
Manufacturers or engineering firms?
Well, to my knowledge, I never saw that anybody of that nature come in or any promotion to that line of thinking go out.
Susan, where it started was here at the Turning Point Discotheque in North Denver. That was when our suspect came in and tried to force a waitress to leave the premises. Asshole schmuck.
For the news, I'm Bob Cullinan on sports.
Say what?
And it looks like spring has finally sprung. We'll take a look at the pleasures it brings. Stay tuned for those stories and more next on the news.
To 65 degrees, and again, you can't go wrong with weather like that. Take a look at Weather Radar 7. We don't have that today, so let's take a look at Skycam. Well, there we are. Ready to go anywhere news is breaking.
I'm Morton Dean, CBS News, New York. More news later on this CBS station.
In spite of the threats of violence, the Pan American Games opened without an incident today in San Juan, Puerto Rico. A packed house was on hand to watch as the athletes of 33 nations paraded into the stadium. Wait a minute, those aren't the athletes. Hold it, hold it. That was Miss Colorado. She was not at the Pan Am Games.
How do you know?
I was there.
You know what she did on her first morning back in Harlingen? She trained.
What do you think?
About what? I'm not getting into that.
Okay.
No. What are you going to come? What are you going to be back with later?
I'll be back
Brian?
in about 20 minutes with no more women's bodybuilding.
No more. All right. Thank you.
Sound complicated? Well, the news release describing this conflict resolution symposium says the purpose of all this is to help young people... Okay. No problem.
Miss a day? That's okay.
Hairlock thief in Gillette, Wyoming. Last month, 24-year-old... Oh, there we go. Just going over this thing here. Now, you may remember the story of the hairlock thief in Gillette, Wyoming.
It's hard to even conceive of a ski area with too much snow, but that's just what happened here at Loveland Basin.
The food situation is getting so critical that the Wyoming Air National Guard is flying C-130 cargo aircraft, dropping bales of hay to the stranded cattle.
Lee Majors may consider as his next role head of the Lonely Hearts Club Band. There, I got it.
Susie, let me give you a peanut here as you go by. Here, darling. There you are. I love it when your eyes dance. Okay, now let's take a look at Colorado's map.
Nope, that's tomorrow in Colorado. Here we go. We got the cold front coming down from the northwest. Eagle was the cold point in the entire country today. So on one hand, we've got 37 degrees in Eagle, and on the other hand, it was 41 degrees in Aspen this morning.
The deal was consummated within 24 hours.
He really choked him up.
And that's the way it is.
And of course, the big question about the Nuggets is, will the changes that Donnie Walsh had asked to be made back on Monday be made?
We'll be hitting the streets once again with our live Instacam, looking for all of you and wanting to finding out from what you want to know from our local newsmakers. If any of that made any sense to you, you're better off than I am.
Nearly 200 trainers and their frogs turned out in Crescent, Iowa for the town's 4th annual frog jump. Some brought their own pet hoppers, while others chose their contestants out of a stable rounded up by local frog catchers. The rules of the contest were simple. Just plop the old frog down in the center circle and then do your best to get him to hop. Now, there's a right way to motivate the frog, and unfortunately, there's also a wrong way.
He's so darn big, he's like a cow you have to hit. Arnold. Arnold, leave that alone. Here, Arnold.
Oh, don't kick me, all right?
Calm down. Calm down, sweetheart.
All right, babe. You're a good, sweet, and precious girl. Wrong end. Oh, Lord. Where's she going? Where's she? Wait. She's gonna kick me. She's kicking back here.
Susie, let me give you a peanut here as you go by. Here, darling. There you are. I love it when your eyes dance. Okay, now let's take a look at Colorado's map.
I think what I'd like the ladies to do at home is to just go home and look through your closet.
Jesus, how much more has she got?
Just start putting things together and
It's neat.
you know, would I normally do this and just see what it looks like.
Dick, hey, get him out of there. God damn.
Give him 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
What happens to police officers who survive such encounters? Sorry, we got some trouble. Can't get to that. We'll pick it up in just a moment. John?
Hello, I'm John Lindsay. Last week on the news, we took you to a potentially dangerous fire at a chemical plant near Rocky Flats. You heard the judge's ruling clearing Mary Estelle Buchanan, the Colorado Secretary of State, accused of embezzlement. We showed you Governor Lamb denying reports he planned to ask for a 25-cent-a-gallon gasoline tax. And we wrapped up a series of investigative reports on the rebirth of one Denver inner-city neighborhood. If you're not watching us, you're missing the best news in town at noon, 5, and 10.
You've got to have it if you're going to sell it.
It's nice having you on the show.
Nice being had.
We'll be back with more news right after this break.
Okay. One of the major concerns facing western Colorado now is the development of water resources.
He gives you something extra.
Ooh, you and Bob are about to find out you are not the only ones in your tax bracket. Believe me.
Well, skiing's one sport that's been getting safer over the years. Equipment manufacturers have been doing their part. The Colorado legislature tried to help last year by passing a Ski Safety Act. Well, now it is time to do our part, and we get more from our West Slope Bureau.
Music makes news tonight. We'll have that for you after this break.
The clinic director today was George the Iceman Gervin. The Spurs star put in 34 points here, 2 on a slam dunk from the doctor. Gervin, the game's MVP, teamed up with rookie Larry Bird to power the East victory. Okay. More sports coming your way tonight. After the break, we'll show you why the ticket prices are going up in the arenas around the country. So do not go away.
Want to come up and see my old satellite pictures? Oh, pardon me. I knew it was going to be warm, but this is ridiculous. Let's take a look what we have right now in the city.
Let's do it. Let's do another one.
Okay. Say when.
Games must remain free from political, racial, and religious conditions.
The steel market's having some problems these days and is hurting business for at least one coal mine in Colorado. Dan Dennison reports from our bureau on the Western Slope. I'm sorry, we're having some trouble getting to that report from Dan Dennison. Perhaps we can get back to it in a few minutes. Meanwhile, 10 people died in hot tubs last year.
Well, someone who seldom makes a wrong decision, and as far as we know, he's never posed in the nude, is our ace weather forecaster, Larry Green.
And he's standing by back at the Channel 7 studio to give us all the weather news. Let's go to Larry now.
Weather looking good for the next couple of days. You all are looking good out there, and we'll be back to talk about Colorado weather and the improving cycle that we're going to experience right after these messages.
And we had a bunch of young kids out here. Most of them, I think they were all female at the time.
In his 38th season as head basketball coach at DePaul, Ray Meyer has his first #1 team. His unbeaten Blue Demons today took over the #1 ranking in the Associated Press college basketball poll. DePaul, a member of the Final Four last season. My mic fell off of my tie.
With CBS, you're looking good. We're looking good. We're looking good here, looking good there, looking good. Everywhere we're looking good. We're CBS. We're looking good here, looking good there, looking good. Everywhere we're looking good. We've got the best. Show after show. No way to go. We got a lot of action, satisfaction. America, you're with CBS. You're looking good.
Inglewood music teachers got a chance to demonstrate their talents tonight. The Colorado Academy spotlighted their own music facility in concert. And the performance under the musical direction of Michael Wayman included numerous classical pieces by Bach and Mozart. Here's what it sounded like.
That's cute. When I was a little fellow at Christmas, we were so poor that on Christmas morning, if you didn't wake up with a heart on, you didn't have anything to play with.
Temperature-wise, this is the way the state shaped up this afternoon. Temperature-wise, this is the way the state shaped up this afternoon.
Locally, however, things don't look so bad, and Jillian Rice is here with that report.
The speculation itself is rampant, Bill, and it's very diverse. But there are others who are saying that the downturn indicates that the economy is going to bounce back in the second quarter of the year. So far, none of this seems to affect, excuse me, so far none of this seems to affect the growth rate in the Denver area. Although housing starts are down over last year, they're still very high. Car dealers say their business is as usual for this time of year, and Denverites are spending their money all over town.
Temperature-wise, this is the way the state shaped up this afternoon.
Did you like today?
Loved it.
You'll love tomorrow.
Let it happen.
Same type of conditions that we had today. Just a repeat of what we had today for tomorrow. Let's take a look at what we have right now. Very pleasant evening going on in the city.
How pleasant is it?
Well, we'll find out. There we go. 58 degrees right now. It's 11 Celsius. Bicycles, yes. Cars, no.
Well, I can't. There it is, 58 to 14 Celsius.
For those of you viewers who have IQs of more than 800, we'd like to repeat all of today's top stories. You people who are even smarter than that, we'd like to repeat this entire tape. Would you like to see that again?
Kids are godfathers. Bullshit. Leave them at home. I don't want no kids in my joint. Kids are nothing but trouble. They come in, they throw pizza all over the floor, they spill Coke. Leave the brats at home. I don't want no part of them. Get out of here. Send them to the Pizza Hut. What?
New Orleans, Muhammad Ali news conference, 1 minute 10 seconds. Editors, please note this spot contains some language that may be offensive.
I said that all through the history of boxing, promoters of all kinds, Jewish, Italian, white, have done all types of things in boxing, have taken money from boxing, have been caught doing crooked things, have robbed fighters, and nobody's never had no press conferences or pulled them above board or show. I said, because these two men are black, it seems that all type powers and people are trying to make these men look bad because they're black. I didn't say anything about no...
what type powers and people?
What type power? You trying to get me to say something else? How old are you? How old are you?
That's not important.
Well, what don't you ask me questions for? You ask me questions.
This is your press conference.
Well, I ask you a question. How old are you?
This is your press conference.
Don't ask me no more questions. I won't talk to them more. You can't. I just ask you, how old are you? Because you a white man, you a racist. Because I'm a nigga, you gonna ask me questions, and I ain't gonna ask you no questions. I asked you how old you was. You gonna tell me you ain't gonna answer. Well, hell with you. Get your ass away from me. Get up now. Why you gotta stay here? Get up now. I get up.
Champ, what happened when...
Motherfucker, I told you get up.
Stations, please note, story number 26. The Muhammad Ali news conference is now a mandatory kill. It is not to be aired.
Now, here's what I want you to do. Start with 1. You're going to be on 7. Okay? The end of every paragraph, I want you to look down. Because you read all this
that's
copy
right, I did.
staring at it like that. And I was watching on the monitor, and you look kind of like...
Hockey. We're both sitting here waiting for each other.
You guys are great.
But you say that hockey is, the playoffs are up now?
Can you imagine this? It's what, 65 today? It's going to be 70 tomorrow.
It's springtime, isn't it? And we're back with hockey again tonight, aren't we?
Hockey.
Hockey from the last week, or is this new hockey?
No, this is new hockey.
Oh, that's good.
Good hockey tonight, too.
Okay.
Game 3 of the National Hockey League Stanley Cup Finals tonight.
The Denver market is like other television markets in that whenever there's a major change in newsroom management, the change happens almost invisibly.
That's the news for now. Join us at 10 for a complete update.
Up next, CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite. You have a very pleasant evening, and we'll look for you back at 10 o'clock.
If, in fact, ignorance is bliss, that explains why Beaker is always so cheerful, congenial, sunny, gleeful, lively, jolly, playful, happy, buoyant, frisky, frolicsome, zesty, lively, sprightly, animated, elated, sportive, fun-loving, jubilant, jocular, exultant, flushed, spry, smiley, joyful, mirth-loving, and waggish. It also may have something to do with the chemicals in the film lab.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, the tax situation has gotten completely out of hand. Uncle Sam is now taxing, I don't know how to tell you, but he's taxing cum. As you can see, there's now the cum tax. People, it's time for us to block the cum tax.
Fantasy Island's hostesses include 10 women who drink and socialize with members, what they call heavy mixing. Then they provide sex in private rooms. The hostesses include women who worked in massage parlors and bathhouses around town. Some have records for prostitution. During the past 2 weeks, Lakewood Police undercover agents introduced several civilians into Fantasy Island membership to gather evidence against the club and its employees.
Did you engage in preliminary love play?
In the jacuzzi, whirlpool type bath, she fondled me and made several advances wondering what I'd like to do.
Did you engage in heavy petting?
She gave to me what in the common vernacular is known as a blow job, resulting in an orgasm on my part. And then, after other advances on this same waterbed, did give to me sexual intercourse in the traditional form.
I don't think I've ever gone this far before.
It got just full of goo and it was stinky. It was just awful.
People, it's time for us to block the cum tax.
Do you think that I could do it?
Yeah, I figured I could come anytime during the day.
Coaches come, coaches go, but
There'll never be another relationship for me as I had with Don Cherry.
I wanted it for 2 years, and this is it. If we make it now, it'll be great.
Let's get it back up.
Just have to comment what a beautiful physical specimen he is.
He is put together incredibly, and he's worked to develop himself like that.
I don't feel a thing. The substance has coated my fingers.
Once you get them down, you can do anything you want with them.
Not all office sex is like Henry's. Tomorrow night, we begin looking into sexual harassment.
He is a distinguished scientist, a god!
The prophet made mad by arrogance.
If there's any catastrophe in my lab...
Maybe we already have! You've got to love a god like that!
There's no way I'm going to be stopped.
Who is Henderson, and what is the Henderson monster?
Bacteria.
Suppose it's out there, right now, reproducing.
It'd mean the end of life itself.
You've got to love him!
I love you.
Why are you doing this to me?
The Henderson monster.
The future will curse us for it.
Tuesday at 9, 8 Central.
Hey, what's going on? What's the matter? He didn't call you that.
Yes, he did.
Hey, he was kicking him off the mountain. He did not call you. He said it talking to the ground.
He looked right at me and called me a fucking asshole, and he's on report for it.
I didn't think he called you a fucking
asshole.
I said, I heard him say asshole. I did not say hear him say fucking asshole. I did not hear him say fucking asshole.
And he's on report.
I did not hear him say that. Go ahead, what's that?
Look, he already ran me.
Go ahead. What do you want? What do you want? What, you ain't gonna get nothing.
He already ran my ass.
I know it. What are you gonna do?
I'll get my fucking money's worth.
No, go ahead. You didn't call him a fucking asshole.
What?
You didn't call him a fucking asshole.
I know I did.
You called him an asshole.
Right.
Okay, I know that. I know you didn't call him a fucking asshole. He called you an asshole, right. He did not call you a fucking asshole. No, he didn't. I'm standing right alongside of him now. Hi, if he said it, hey, I heard him say he called you an asshole.
Well, that's good enough.
Okay, but don't say he. Well, he didn't say that. He did not say that. Fine. He called you an asshole. I agree with you, but he did not say you're a fucking asshole. Okay.
Pastoral Call.
Good evening. I heard a story the other day about a man who died and appeared before St. Peter. And Peter offered him a choice. He says, you can go either to heaven or to hell. And the man asked, well, what's the difference? Come, said Peter,